Shut up and sit down.
Greetings, fellow Earth travelers. Oblix here. Today I want to talk to you about the Puredial Powersphere. How y'all doing today? So this was our Watch Gang Black Tier subscription for July 2018. So just about a month ago. We just got our August subscription in. And I have been wearing this guy. You guys have watched me unbox it, so no fanciness there. You've seen this before. A nice presentation. Good, solid box with Puredial logo on it. Nothing fancy all the way around. Little pull tab on the front because you can drop down and display if you so choose. Watch is on a nice little pillow. Nothing too extravagant. But as you would expect in this tier. Let's pull this guy off the pillow there. And what comes with it, of course, warranty card, plastics that were on there, and the buckle tag. And we'll pop all this back in here and get it out of the way. And on to the star of the show, the Puredial Powersphere. Now I'm going to tell you, when I first got this guy, I was a bit meh. It took me a little while to warm up to it, but I did warm up to it. It's still not my favorite watch. It's not a go-to watch by any means, but I have warmed up to it a little bit. It's got an interesting layout, kind of all over the map, really. We got a blue dial with some rose gold detail. Now they call it rose gold. It's not. It's almost a bronzy color. I don't know if the lights and whatnot, our camera is going to pick it up in here, but it's more of a bronzy than it is a rose gold. Definitely not traditional rose gold. It does have the open heart design. It has a 24-hour display. And you've got the rose gold around here on the bezel as well. But then on the sides and back, you've got stainless steel. You know, that silver stainless steel color all the way around. And for whatever reason, a blue band, I guess to match the dial, but then you've got this gray strap, which doesn't match much of anything other than maybe the lume in there. So, yeah, I'm not real sure where they were going with on the styling on this guy. It's like I said, a little bit all over the map. And then you've got this white stitching. So you've got a gray stripe with white stitching on a blue band. Yeah, head scratcher. They went with kind of an industrial design where you see these screws laid in here. And you get, they have the continuation of them down through the case. So it almost looks like a sandwich design. So like there would be a plate here at the bottom, a plate at the top, and a sandwich there in the middle, or sandwich case there in the middle. I doubt that's really the case. This actually, the bottom piece down here and the side look like the same to me. The top is probably different. It is probably an actually screwed down case. I could pop those off, I guess, and see, but I'm not going to do that. It's some interesting. It's not really knurling. I'm not sure what this texture is on this dial. Let's see if I can zoom in on that for you guys a little bit. I'll put some shots in there, definitely, of it. But it's definitely an interesting look to it. Now, the crown is a single position crown because there is no date complication on this piece at all. It is windable. And it is hackable. Just verifying that for myself there. And it is running the Seiko NH39 movement. Usually we see the NH35, but this is the NH39, which gives you that 24-hour complication. As far as the crystal, it is thin. It is very thin. So don't be banging on it as I sit here and bang on it. Don't bang on it with anything hard because it's not going to hold up. And as far as scratch resistance goes, according to Puredial's website, this is sapphire coated mineral crystal. So kind of on the scratch resistance, nothing fancy there. It is not going to hold up to a whole lot. And like I said, it is really thin, so it's not going to take a beating either. Kind of a disappointment because the case looks like it'll take a beating, but the crystal most definitely will not. It is a display back, as you can see there. Really thin glass back there too, though honestly it feels a little bit thicker than what's up front. Now that may just be because it's has a narrower diameter, but you can see that Seiko NH39. Now the Seiko's bulletproof movement, guys, so nothing wrong with the movement there. You can definitely see the leather on the back. It does indicate genuine leather. I have no doubt that it's genuine leather. Even though it does have the weird colors in it. I imagine this stripe here, this gray stripe here is not leather, but it might be. It feels not leathery, but the back is most definitely leather and does feel of it. It's got an interesting connection method. It does not seem to be spring bar loaded, as most watches are. It does appear to have screw through, but I don't think that's actually real. I think it is, in fact, spring bar. But I haven't popped these off yet to see. I'm a little hesitant because I'm not real sure if I'll be able to get them back on or not. There's just some weird designs on this thing. For example, nothing wrong with the dial. I actually like the dial. I think it looks good. I like the slightly obscured open heart with a 24-hour dial there. Very nice. Nice, coloration on the dial, and the hands go well together. You've got these applied indices all the way around with little lume pips down at the bottom, at the base of the, right up against the bezel there, and some nice lume applied on the hands. These sword point hands are very nice. A very dainty second hand with a minimal counterbalance. Nothing fancy, no markings or anything on them. Decent looking applied Puredial logo at the 3 o'clock. And of course you have the minute markers painted down around the interior bezel, the ring around the inside there. Now on the outside is where things get a little bit wonky and a little bit, I don't know that Puredial just really thought things through all the way when they were building this. I think they kind of maybe rushed it, or I don't know, the designer had a brain hiccup or something, but just some little details that were definitely, little opportunities, let's call them, that were definitely missed. For one, the big one that really bugs me is the balance between brushed steel and polished steel. Now, for example, on this face here, on the bezel, they've brushed all the top surfaces, but polished all the ankle surfaces. And that's fine, that looks good. But then you've added multiple facets of an angle here, on this piece and this piece. So which ones do you brush and which ones do you polish? Because it doesn't hold true to the pattern. So they just polished all of it. Well, that's too much. It takes away. Same thing happened on the side here. They brushed this side here, but polished where the screws come through. The same on this side. But then you turn around the top up here, the entire thing is polished. So they polished the lugs on the top and on the inside, and they polished the inside right here. But then they brushed the outside. It's confusing. It doesn't follow a pattern. And people like patterns. I would have really liked to have seen this inside brushed right here, and I would have liked to have seen the brushwork here continue down this side until it met the angle that's right here, and then continue the polish around. I think that would have looked a lot better. Another part that's bothersome is the flatness of the back. I mean, it is board flat, and this is actually fairly uncomfortable. It's not when you first put it on, but when you wear it for longer periods of time, at least for me anyway, it becomes very uncomfortable. I can feel it riding over the top of my bones there. And I don't wear it very long. It just becomes entirely too uncomfortable. I was having a little issue with something on here, and I couldn't never put my finger on what it was, but something on here was poking me. And I've rubbed my finger across here 100,000 times trying to figure out what the heck it was. I don't know if it was one of the screws or potentially one of these strings, the stitching here. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was where the leather meets the lugs. I just don't know. I could never figure it out. But something in here was poking the snot out of me fairly regular, but it hasn't happened in a while. It was when I first got it. Maybe it wore in enough that's gone away. I'm not real sure. Another issue I have is over here and over here where the tan leather is. The stitching is super smooth, very comfortable, both sides. But right here, where they've stitched this little colored strap or a little colored piece of leather over the top, on both sides, the stitching is really high up and really rough. And that does wear on your skin after a while. You will feel it, and it does become annoying. Not enough to say, I'm never wearing this watch, but it's still bothersome. The more you wear it, the more you notice it. It is a branded buckle, and it is all polished. So you have this, it's all brushed is what I'm trying to say. That word not coming out of my mouth properly. So you've got a watch here that's both polished and brushed all over the place in random weird ways, but then you completely brush the buckle. It's different, and different stands out in a not pleasant way. There should be some polish on here so that it matches more appropriately with the watch itself. In my opinion, and that's just a subjective thing there. So let's put this guy on the scale and see what he comes out to be, because he is a little heavier. He's not super heavy, but he is a little bit heavier. And we're looking at 4.3, so not quite chunky monkey territory, but yeah, he's right on the cusp there. He is a bigger piece. Get the calipers on him, and if we go across, it's going to be a little tough to measure. Keep it consistent there. We're looking at about a 45 millimeter across. With the crown, you're looking at 48, and then lug to lug, you are looking at a 52. And it's actually fairly thin, for a bigger watch. You're looking at a 12, almost 13. So I will say that I've definitely noticed some quality control issues with this guy. Nothing major, nothing that says, oh, this company's horrific and can't be fixed. I do think it's specific to this unit. I think each unit's going to have a few quality control issues based on the issues I've found. Things like coming out of the box with scratches. There's a scratch right there. There's a scratch over here. There's a little bit of a nick over here. All that was right out of the box when I got it. Brand new. So, definite some quality control issues in the Puredial factory that they're not catching. That they, at this price point, they should be. They're hoping for $500 for this guy. That's their retail on this. You put a watch out there for $500. That sets a certain bar of expectation. Quality control is one of them. You don't send me a $500 scratched up watch. Just that simple. You don't send me a $500 watch with nicks in it. You could say a scratch happened in the box. Though you guys watched the unboxing video, you saw how it came to me. That didn't happen when it was in that box. It happened on your factory floor or in your quality control office. The nick most definitely happened in your office, or in the factory. You guys need to take care of that. You need to do a better job taking care of that. there's some of the stitching is fluffing out here on the sides. That's, minor little things, but at $500, those things need to be addressed. Mineral crystal, even sapphire coated at $500, you're out of your mind. No. I can buy a $100 watch that has sapphire on it. You don't send me mineral crystal for a $500 price tag. Just a bad idea. So enough of the negative. I don't think I mentioned it is a branded crown, and it is just a one position. It is windable and hackable. Let's take a look at this guy on the wrist. Today, watch check, I am wearing a Citizen Calendier, and I love this piece. It is gorgeous. The blues on the hands are amazing. That lovely lollipop, reverse lollipop dainty second hand is the bee's knees. Review will come on this guy eventually. I can't remember if I've shown him on video or not before. Really nice piece. And less expensive than this, and guess what? Has great quality control. Let's put it on your way first. There we go. It is a good looking piece. Honestly, I really haven't gotten, I think this piece should have gotten more compliments than it did. I didn't get a whole lot of compliments on it. People just really didn't even notice it, which is kind of a shame. I think it probably should have, given that it's, square and has that kind of bronzy, they call it rose gold on it. I think it should have gotten more looks than it actually did. But hey, people's taste are people's taste, and it did not. Really, in the days I wore this to the office and whatnot, I really didn't get any compliments. Nobody really even noticed it. So there it is on the wrist. Decent size wrist filler. When you lift your wrist up, you will absolutely feel that crown on the back of your wrist here. So it doesn't prohibit motion, but you will feel it. And again, that super flat back, I'm feeling it just doing this right now. It's not as comfortable as it could be with a more rounded back. So again, talking about that $500 price point, Puredial on their own website defines this as stainless steel. They do not define it as 316L. They don't define it as surgical grade. They don't define it as marine grade. They just say stainless steel. Whenever a company does that, they're hiding something. They're not. If they don't tell you what it is, it's because they don't want you to know what it is. It's not good steel. My sink in the kitchen says stainless steel. It doesn't make it good steel. They didn't define it. It's not good steel. But it does have 10 ATM water resistance, so you could take it in the water if you wanted to. I wouldn't recommend it with this leather strap. It's going to ruin it. It's not waterproofed or any such thing. And like I said, I don't think it's really replaceable, at least not that I've seen. Maybe you could, but I haven't gone far enough to try and take it apart to see. It definitely doesn't appear to be a standard way of mounting. So again, Puredial wants $500 for this guy. I'm finding it all day online for about $250. That's definitely more reasonable. I think $500 is a ridiculous price for this thing, given that it's an unknown steel, given that it's sapphire coated, yeah, right, mineral glass on here, and the quality control issues. No, definitely not $500. Honestly, I think $250 is probably overpriced. I think it's the real world value is more in the $100 range. $70 to $115, somewhere in that range. I definitely wouldn't pay more than that for it. I'm glad I got it for $90 or $99 from the Watch Gang. Am I going to get rid of it? No, not right away. Like I said, I have grown to like it more than I did when I got it. which is fantastic. That's why I joined the watch gang, is to get me out of my comfort zone and try things I wouldn't normally buy, and I definitely would not buy this in the store. Seeing it in a display case, looking at it online, whatever, I wouldn't just glance right over it and keep on trucking. So I'm glad they've kind of opened my eyes to it a little bit. It's not a great, super great piece. It is most definitely overpriced, but it's a decent piece. And I'm glad it's in my collection. I'll keep it in my collection for a little while. It won't be in there for long. I mean, it's not a forever piece by any means. I won't replace it if it breaks or any such thing. I won't try to have it repaired or any deal. If it goes, it goes. If somebody comes along and says, hey, I'll give you $150 for it, the sucker's sold in a second. So, it's just kind of in that meh range, or, I don't wake up in the morning going, you know what, I need to wear that Puredial. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I have no idea what I want to wear today. And I sit there and stare at the watch box for 10 minutes, scratching my head, what should I wear? And finally I'll pull it out and go, I'll just throw this on for today. That's it. Now the Luminescence is meh. Again, I'll pop some lume shots in, put the lume on it right now. You can see the hands light up different than the pips around the sides. A little bit unusual. At the $500 price point, you expect Super Luminova. Definitely does not have Super Luminova. Has, cheapo, whoever else lume on it that doesn't hold up, over time. You can charge it up. You can use it while it's charged up, but it's not going to last. You're not going to look at it 4 hours later and it still be charged up. You're going to look at it 10 minutes later and be like, man, it's getting dim. So, that's that. But that is the Puredial Powersphere. This does come in a lot of different colors. Look at the Puredial website and you can see a whole bunch of different varieties, styles, bands, all manner of different things. I do like that about the brand. They are very open to different colorations and stylings and patterns, bands, things like that. Variety can give you what you're looking for, so they don't limit you to just one or two like a lot of brands do. So definite positive there. But I'm afraid that's all I got to say about the Puredial Powersphere. Sure do appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me today, as always. And until next time, you guys get out there and make some noise. We'll see ya.